welcome to Arts and Props with Gail. I'm Gail. Today I'm going to show you a really cool trick to make 4 different types of bows. Before we begin, I just want to go through a couple of supplies that will come in handy. To tie your bows, you might want to use something like a twine, although this is my least favorite. For wire ribbon, I like to use pipe cleaners, or I like to use floral wire, and you want it really thin. I use floral wire to make bows for plastic and glass ornaments. If you're making a no-sew ornament, you have a chance to do something else a little differently. And that is you can use straight pins. When you're using straight pins, the first thing you'll need are some flathead pins. This will be really important to make the bow round. And if you want to add a hanger or something, it's a good idea to have some ball head pins, so you can use those as well. This would work on any soft material that you can stick a straight pin through. These are some of my favorite measuring tools from the Dollar Tree. You can find this T-square in the hardware section. You can also use a cutting mat that you can find in the crafts section. Or you can use this chopper that you can find in the kitchen section. All of these tools are handy because you can use them as right angles as well. Other materials that you'll probably need are a glass or something to hold your ornament in place, a hot glue gun to glue your ribbons onto your ornaments, a pair of craft scissors to cut out materials that are non-fabric, a pair of fabric scissors to cut fabric, a pair of wire cutters to cut wire, and a lighter to burn the edges on ribbon that frays easily. My number one trick or hack is to use toilet paper rolls to make my templates. When they get dog-eared and torn up, just create a new one. We will use a toilet paper roll to make our first template. And all you're going to do is flatten it out, and we're going to measure it, and you can see that the width of the toilet paper roll is 2.5 inches. You can create a bow with ribbon that is 2 inches wide or thinner using this template. For bow number 1, I'm using a 1.5 inch wide ribbon and a pipe cleaner. This bow will be 4 inches long. Therefore, I'll make sure that my roll is 4 inches long, and then I'm going to mark the middle at 2 inches, and I want to make sure that the mark in the middle goes from the bottom up to a little bit over 1.5 inches, which is the width of my ribbon. I also need to allow room for the tie in the center. Now I'm trimming the length of the roll to 4 inches. Since I'm measuring upward to make sure it's over 1.5 inches, I don't want to go much higher than that. I'm at 1.5 right now, so I'm just going up a little taller. And since I'm using a pipe cleaner, I'm going to go up a little bit more than 1/8 of an inch. Cut around the line using craft scissors. I wanted to talk about the toilet paper roll. In the video, I talk about how long this needs to be. Just to simplify it, this needs to be a little bit taller than the width of the ribbon that you're using. For instance, if I'm using a ribbon that's this thick, this seems extra tall. And it might be hard to hold this in place. So what I can do is use a rubber band to go across the top here, and it will help keep my ribbons in place. Or I could use something like this paper clip. With this paper clip though, there's one that's in front and one in back, and you want both of these to be the same. So I'm just gonna take this one in front and I'm gonna move it to the back. So both of the ends of the wire are on the back. And then I can take this and bring it down, keeping the back wires on the back side. And I can come down like this, and that way it will help hold my ribbon in place when I'm wrapping it around. And you can adjust this to whatever width of ribbon you want. So this is my second bonus hack. When I make the non-round bows, the ones that look like this, every time I go around, this counts as one. So if I start here, I come across, and when I pass this on the back side again, that's one. When I'm doing the no-sew ornaments, because you have a chance to use an odd number of bows, of rings, so to speak, I am going to count each one as from here to here is 1, and here to here is 2, 3, 4, for each bow that I create. The next thing I'm gonna do is take my pipe cleaner, thread it through here, and I'll fold it in half just to kind of keep it out of the way for right now. Now we're gonna use our ribbon, and we're gonna wrap our ribbon around this way, and we're gonna bring it up near the top. You're leaving the ribbon, and you're gonna cross it over like this. So this This would be the end of the ribbon, and it's going the same direction as you're pulling it through, but it's gonna go behind here. The one in front is gonna cross over. So you want both of the ribbons to cross over in the middle here, so tie it and you keep your bow. Cut your ribbon at least 9 inches for a 4-inch bow. Start on this side. Now I'm gonna take this and thread it through, so this part's gonna be back here. And I'm just gonna leave a little bit back here on this side. So I have this here. You can see that this is going the same direction as the way the ribbon's going. I'm not folding it over or anything. And now I'm gonna wrap it around. So I have it overlapping on the back, and I'm gonna have it overlapping on the front. Then I'm gonna cut it right there. Take this down. I can pull it as tight as I want. Kind of keep the bow like that. And take it off here now so I can see what it looks like. And wrap it around, and I have a bow. I'm gonna cut this off. At this point, you could use an embellishment like this and glue it on the center, and there you have a bow. However, I'm gonna double this one. So the length of this was my 4-inch one. Now let's say that I wanna do a double bow. I'm gonna take this next toilet paper roll and I'm gonna make it 3 inches long. This way I can kind of mark it along the side here, up and down like that. And I'm gonna cut here, and then I also want to measure in the center, which is going to be 1.5. Cut your ribbon length to 7 inches for a 3-inch bow. Take your ribbon and we're gonna wrap it around. And we're gonna tie it together. Flatten it out. I'm gonna flatten this one as well. And now I can glue this on here. To keep my ribbon from fraying, I can melt the edges slightly. Here's the same bow without wire. You can cut off a length down here and fold it. This is just a separate piece of ribbon that is folded in half. And when you're folding it in half like this, you can cut out your little tail. You can even fold it over just a little bit here. I'm gonna use fabric scissors for this to get a nice clean cut. And then I have a ribbon like this that if I were using it with this one, I could just add that on down here to the bottom like so. I'm going to take another roll here, flatten it out. This time I'm going to make it 2.5 inches long. Then we'll divide that in half. So 2.5 divided by half would be 1.25. And this material is about 5/8 wide. So I want to go up probably about 3/4 on this one. And I'm going to kind of estimate this. This material is plastic, and I found it at the Dollar Tree, and it really matched an ornament that I'm working on, which is why I want to use it. However, I'm not going to be able to do a whole bunch of bows here, so I'm going to limit it to 3, and I'll demonstrate that. When pulling out the loops, I'm gonna start from the very inside, and I can pull it out like this. I'll go the opposite direction on this side, pulling it out to the left instead of the right. So I can create a little bow up here for the top. With the coral ribbon, what I'm going to do is cut one of these a little bit thinner. So I'll cut this in half. And I'm just going to wrap it around the center to cover up that wire. I'll wrap it around twice. And just put a little bit of glue here on the back. I don't want to put too much glue on it because I'm going to stick a pin through it to add it to my no-sew ornament. For this one, I'm going to use the twine, and I'll cut this a little bit longer. The easiest way to use this is just to tie a bow at the top. So that way we keep it out of the way and we don't knot it. Every time it goes past my thumb, it's another time around. So I'm going to start on the outside, and I'm going to take one off at a time and move it in one direction. I'll provide links down below and a paper that you could refer to see where you can purchase some of these supplies so you don't have to look all over for it. I think I would prefer a darker green on here than this blue. However, it works. For the no-sew ornament, I'm going to make 3 round bows. For the silver ribbon, I'm going to use the 3-inch long one. For the red ribbon that has a little ornate look here, has a little detail there, I'm going to use the 2 3/4. And by the way, this is 3/8 wide. This one is 3/8 wide too, but it looks thinner because of the little detail on the sides. And then for the top ribbon, I want to use a black ribbon like this. We're going to do the same process on all of these. You're creating the length of your ribbon, you're adding the center, and then you're determining how you want to make your bow with what materials. And I've already demonstrated 3 of them, so I'm getting ready to demonstrate how to use the pin method to make the circular bows. I'm going to start with a 3-inch, and this is my silver ribbon. I thought that would be pretty to have that be the dominant one on top here. I'm going to stick with the number 7 for this bow because 7 is an odd number and it's often favored by artists and artwork because it adds a little bit more interest. Whereas if I'm creating a no-sew ornament like this, I want to keep it even because it has to do with balance. All I'm going to do is continue this behind. Remember that this has to cross over and be behind here a little bit. If I'm going to measure this and I don't want to cut this off as they go, what I can do is measure this, and you want at least 2 feet. And probably for the larger ones, you might want to go up to like 26 inches instead of 24. I'm just going to keep it on the roll here though. Okay, so we're going to start with this. I'm going to wrap it around. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then I'm going to stop here on the back side if I want to do 7. Now, all I'm going to do is make sure that this goes past a little bit. I'm going to cut it and take a flat pin. Actually, I could pin it before I do that. That would probably even be better. This is slipping on me a little bit, so I want to make sure all my ribbon is tight and even. And we're just going to pin it, pull it off, and you want to keep this together a little bit more up here at the top. You want it loose, kind of like a pinwheel. If you want it to be a round ribbon, it has to be on one point only. That's why we can't use wire to go around to create that look. And you're just going to start to pull these out. And I like to start with the inside and pull one way on this side, and then I'll pull it the opposite way on the other side. And you can kind of go around to where you like it. Then you have the first bow. So I'm going to place this one up here in the center. And I can kind of move these around a little bit and really stick that down. Then you can use another pin. I'm going to keep this off the center because I want to add a hanger later on. And I can pin it in place more so the ribbon isn't moving around. There we have the first one. And I can kind of make that look more pretty. Okay, so the next one, we're going with the 2 3/4 inch length. All of these are starting the same way. Start in the back side, add just a little bit there. The only thing different is when we're working on the no-sew ornaments, we're counting this as 1. When we're working on the ornaments where we're not using a pen, I count this all the way as round. I'm going to create the final one. So now I'm going to the 2.5 inch. All I have to do is decide how long my hanger is going to be, and you can measure it so it's the same for all of your ornaments. Let's see if I want to go down to about right here. I'm just going to tie it. I'm going to make a double knot, wrap around my finger and pull both ends through. And then take a ball-headed pen through the center, and then you can place it on.
This wraps up our bow video. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe. We'd love to make more videos to suit your needs.